Morning, lovely people. Hope you're all well. Welcome to this Sunday morning, and this is how it all starts off. One dirty bike, one awful weather, and welcome to Sunday Bike Check. Hashtag number 1. It's the podcast without any talking and the Saturday show without any laughs. Sounds great. Welcome to James Social Cycling. Morning, lovely people, on this Sunday. Welcome to my little show today. Down in the comments you'll find pinned comment which will have 3 subjects. So we're looking at Tubeless, we're going to have a look at the Topstone upgrades, and we're going to talk about Polarized training, which one of my viewers has obviously pushed me on. So there'll be times down in the comments, all right? So if you don't want to listen to me drivel on, you can go there. But anyway, first things up, let's talk about Tubeless. Let's talk about me staying with inner tubes, even though this, look at that, you can see the inner tube there. I found this yesterday. I was pumping up the tyre, so if you look to see where the valve is, to where that is, pumping it up, and I found it. But I had to go out because I didn't have much time after the Christmas party on Friday. I wasn't feeling that great, but anyway. And then I've had a little check on the rear tyre to the, there, look. I've had a check on the rear tyre, and we've got this as well. There was nothing in there. I've pulled a couple of little flints out of the tyre itself, but nothing in there. But again, it just looks a little dodgy. So I'm going to definitely, on the front wheel, I'm definitely going to fix this, patch it on the inside, and I'll have a look at the rear one as well. So just to make sure I'm not going to have any catastrophic puncture while I'm out on the road. So I'm not going to sit here and teach you how to change an inner tube. That's a job for GCN. Rebranding. Someone said, why don't you watch GCN, or would you like GCN? I liked GCN. It's just that what you find is when you watch them for a couple of years, you start seeing the same videos coming up with different names, because you've got to run out of things to talk about in the cycling industry, haven't you? So anyway, yeah, I can double up on videos if I wanted to. So what's the score here then? So why am I against Tubeless? Well, some of you that watch the channel quite a lot, I did actually try and go Tubeless once, but I deleted a 2-hour video because it took me that long to realise that I was never going to get the tyres seated, and I tried everything. You know, when you watch some videos and people just do it straight away, that was telling me that I'm not going Tubeless. I could have, yes, I could have got the bike shop to set it up for me, but the biggest problem is what you're going to do when you get a puncture. So with that in mind, is that the fact is that yes, 9 times out of 10 you're going to be okay with a puncture. With tubeless, maybe. I've tried the slime tubes, they were a bit hit and miss. They'd work one day, wouldn't they, next. But then, to be honest, I was like, why bother? And remember, people, this is my opinion, but there's a lot of people that will know exactly what I'm talking about. The thought of not being able to plugging it a couple of times, it not working, and then having to put a tube in it, or having to borrow a tube from somebody. But instead, I'd rather actually just have a tube, spare tube, make sure I've got everything out of the tyre, and put a new tube in, and off we go. It might be a bit of a pain, it might be 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes, but 5-10 minutes and hopefully we're off and running again, instead of having a catastrophic slit, especially this time of year. Look at that, look at that. And the other thing is, as well, is you've got to keep in mind, this is a thing, it's a bit of a tip on tyres actually. These Pirelli Cinturato Velos on the road, they go off. There is going to be a point, this is the front tyre. You obviously saw a cut in the back tyre, which is unlucky, but you'll find that after maybe a season or whatnot, you'll find that the tyres will go off. They'd get to a point when they start getting punctures, and that's because you've worn the tyre out. The tyre's ready for change. The puncture repair on them has gone supple, and it's not going to work anymore. And that's what I found out, especially with these Cinturatos. They are the Jedi Knight of the Jedi Knight of mind tricks. I've hit front doors and cars with stones that have pinged off these tyres, but at some point they're going to go off, and they're not going to stop you from getting a puncture. So what am I doing? I am going to stick a patch on the inside of there. I'm not here to teach you to do patches, alright? I'm not here to do that. GCN, go and watch GCN, they've got about 4 or 5 different videos on that. Doesn't have to be as fantastic as you do in a tube, because all you're doing is trying to just give that tube a little bit more strength. Alright, as you can see, a job well done, but to be honest with you, I pretty much need a new tyre. Secondly, let's have a look at the Topstone, shall we? So got the Topstone, so this is a 2019 105 model. Some will know it very well. These are all my own decals. So you've got the Cannondale there, you've got all of the decals around the rim, and the bike pretty much is a shadow of its former self. I can't even remember the wheels, WDS or something, they were a pile of shite. So let's just have a look at the upgrades that I've added to an already upgraded bike. So I don't know if any of you remember that I've changed the alley frame, alley seat post, sorry. So now I've got the Hope, which is a full carbon seat post. I think it's a 10% offset. Just looks absolutely awesome, and I have to admit to it adding a lot more comfort to it as well. It just, a carbon seat post just does. Softer tyres as well, but there you go. So for the winter I run the NCS mudguards. So these are bulletproof. You've got some nice adjustment here on both sides. I'd always recommend just to double check these are tight, like I've just done. And then you've got the front as well. face it, people, they're not the best at looking things, but these guys do a job. I sometimes stick a bit of inner tube in the contact points, so in here, and you can actually see the inner tube there, so kills the rattle, as you can see just in there, if you can just see that. Basically kills the rattle and protects underneath from any rubbish on the fork. And I have gone and changed to my 105. So where I've changed the 105 on my Trek, I've utilised this. I put a 50-34 chain ring on, so I've changed the chain ring, as you can see, 50-34, and I now have the power meter, so the crank arm power meter, and I've changed the 105, and I also had to change the bottom bracket to the Holotech, and I have to say it was just simple, just unthread and thread back in, really no problem. But the great thing about this is that when it comes to summer and a bit of gravel, I will upgrade this to a 46-31 GRX crankset, so I may have to change the 105 front mech to a GRX as well, but I'll check compatibility and I'll let you know here somewhere whether it's a yay or a nay. But just gives me a few more gears, because I've got a 11-34 on the back, so it gives me a few more gears when I'm out on the road. Hopefully I can be a bit quicker. So there you go. So there is, and obviously being that it was a bike check, I also noticed that I've got a little bit of an issue with the bar tape, so I just need to fix this before I finish. But the bike's all ready to ride again, so it's a little bit drizzly, so whether I get on it this afternoon or not, we'll see. So there you go. There is the Cannondale. Gorgeous, people. So I'm back indoors. Bloody cold day today. It was a little bit rainy, so as I said, just check out the comment below and you'll get to where you want to be. So also just wanted to touch on something that I'd mentioned in my channel. My GoPro Hero 9 was playing up, so I was has been over the last couple of months, I think, I haven't done many videos, but over the last few weeks I've had a few videos that have gone amiss. I haven't been able to send anything out because the video's been corrupted, maybe 1 or 2 files or all the files. So literally I am a GoPro Plus subscriber, so I have been off and on over the years, but I've had I paid an annual fee, I can't remember, I don't know, 4 months ago or something like that. Anyway, when I started doing videos again, I decided that I'll pay an annual fee because I needed to be covered if anything ever went wrong with the GoPro. So what happened was I messaged them probably about 2 weeks ago. I'll put a thing up here. I took a screenshot of the case number. You can have the details, I give them shit myself. But basically I asked for a callback and didn't get a callback. A week later, I then got a survey. Because I didn't get a call back, probably about 4 or 5 days later, I ended up going, well, it's not worth being a subscriber if you're not going to cover what I'm paying for, which was a service. Was one of the services was that they would be, you'd have your own contact. The other one is they'll swap your GoPro over if there's something wrong with it. I'd done the resets and I'd done all that, so it was something that I've always done. You know, we're not stupid nowadays. Turn it off and turn it back on again. Yeah, it sometimes doesn't work, but I did the reset, so complete factory reset, having to redo all my different modes, so all my different light, yeah, just all my different modes. There's about 3 different camera modes I use depending on the lights. And yeah, what happened was that they didn't even come back to me, because which bloody annoyed me actually. But what they did do a week later, after they sent me an email asking me to fill in a form and say why. why I was cancelling my subscription. So I told them all why, and still nobody's come back to me. That was probably about 3-4 days ago. So I just wanted to say that GoPro can ram it up their backside. I've got 2 GoPros. I've got GoPro accessories everywhere, and I'm absolutely disgusted by the fact that I pay, well, used to pay $5.99 a month for or $4.99 a month for a subscription, which covered me for, if this went wrong, they would swap it over. So I have got a Hero 7, or I've got the Hero 9, but I'm just disgusted by them. So hashtag GoPro, can shovel it. I tell you what, my next camera I'm going to buy is going to be a 360, something like that, because I'm not going to buy another GoPro. If that's how they're going to treat their customers, and plus especially their subscribing customers, then it's a no from me. It's all about the service. It doesn't matter if you've got problems, but if you can rectify those problems, then great. But these guys have let me down. So that's the reason why I would not recommend anybody buying a GoPro, right? Just thought I'd add this in, because it is just, you need that kind of review. They do not care. And as we know now, all the reviews, when the reviews for the Hero 11, Hero 10, Hero 9, Hero 8 all come out, it's come out by people on YouTube, and they're all paid. They're all paid for it. And if DC gave them a bad name, they probably wouldn't send him another one the following year. So that's how it is, isn't it? So like some magazines now, he says himself, just reading through, you know, the new Cycling Plus, there's never a damning review on anything in there, is it? Because at the end of the day, how else do they get their mags paid for? So anyway, all right, I'll stop babbling on about the GoPro, but I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. There you go. All right, service is crap. So now I want to just have a quick chat about training. So polarized training. Now, hopefully I've said that correct. And the reason why, when I had a whinge at Garmin, because it was telling me I was overreaching, which in training terms might mean something, but when someone's telling you you've been out for a hard ride, which for you was a hard ride, and you were overreaching, but it kind of explained to me, one of the guys, I'll put his name up here because I can't remember, it's not a name, it's a GN something. Anyway, he made a comment, and I've been reading up on it. I've been watching up on polarized training. So it's very much your base for your winter training, for your base. So it's working at your zone 1, zone 2, not even top of zone 2. So, and it's all about sort of igniting the muscles, but without killing them. And there's a lot of talk about, when I go out on the bike, push myself and overreach. Basically, it's some people call it junk miles, which is not doing your training any good whatsoever. So I'm not going to get all scientific on you here. I've not read up on it. I've only just watched a few videos, got my own backup on it, or my own information from that. And I'm going to utilize my indoor training to try and make sure that I can do a bit of polarized training. So do a lot of base mile. Hopefully I won't get too bored. And at the same time, I was looking at sort of doing some intervals, and that's the main reason why I'm using Zwift, is because they've got some nice 30-minute kill yourself, working at your FTP. So that's what I'm pretty much going to do. So I appreciate to this guy for pushing me on to, I want to say, I can't remember his name, Jonathan, I can't remember. But anyway, I've had some good information, and there's other people that talk about it as well. So basically you're looking at 80% of your training is going to be base, and then you're going to use your mid and your intensity, so your hard training. And hopefully, which is what I was really wanting to try and look at doing, but I wasn't going to look at sort of doing sort of zone 1, zone 2, but I might put that in the mix if I can, if it doesn't do my noggin in sitting in the kitchen on the trainer. but hopefully it will help, because obviously I want to engage the muscles in a good way to obviously try and get a bit fitter and get a bit quicker, because as we all know, I'm slow. All right, so any quicker would be good. So not going to get scientific on you, just wanted to explain to you where I'm going with the bike. So the Trek's all set up now, so I did that today as well. So put the rear wheel on. I've got the Mishi rear wheel, so it's a really heavy wheel, but it's great for not smashing it to bits. I've got a trainer, so I've got the Elite trainer tire, which is brilliant, and I'm going to use the Cubo, is it, fluid trainer, which I've already had. So we'll see how I get on with that, and utilizing obviously the 4i dual pro power meter precision. All right, so and we'll see how we get on with that, and hopefully I'll come back to you next week with a little bit of feedback. All right, so anyway, lots of love, people. Thank you very much, appreciate all your support. Don't forget, give me a like, it really helps the channel. Let's try and help the channel. My videos are crap, I know they're crap, but at the end of the day, I don't have people filming me, I don't have scripts. It's all to do with my knowledge of what I know, and hopefully I remember what I tell you, because, you know, at the end of the day, I could sit here and read something and pretend that I knew what I was talking about, which is just not what I'm into. All right, so don't forget, give us a like. If you haven't already, give us a sub, and don't forget, if you've got any questions, any comments down below, be good to get engaged and go from there. All right, lots of love, people. I'll see you on the road very soon.